homes, Lord, that we can come together and serve you as we serve these citizens and this. We ask it all in the name of our loving Savior, Jesus Christ, and amen.
Thank you, Pastor Jones. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Here.
Cleary.
Here.
Haney.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Harry.
Here.
Next in our meeting agenda is the approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting of November 20th, 2023, and the organizational meeting of December 1st, 2023. Are there any errors, edits, omissions, additions? I have one. I discussed with Marta already. The organizational meeting, the last paragraph and next to last paragraph says Haney, it should say Harvey. Easily confused, I get it. That was a compliment.
I saw that too. I make a motion to deviate, read ordinances and resolutions.
Can we start with communication? So moved. Thank you. Well, Mr. Haney has a previous commitment he has to leave for, but he wanted to be present to vote on legislation like the healthcare insurance, so they could be passed by emergency. FYI. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Aye.
Communications, if the, we do have a Ohio Department of Taxation memo regarding real estate taxes. John.
Taxes, the Walterham property, we have made application for that to become tax exempt, and we received notification on that, and that is the communication. It was awarded tax exempt status.
No.
Chris.
Make a motion, request no hearing on that?
No, that's for
Accept it.
liquor. Yeah,
Okay.
accept it.
Accept that.
Yeah. Move. Chris. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Aye.
Thanks, John. Good news. Reports, there are none. Ordinances, if the clerk could please give ordinance 2377 first reading by title only.
Authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for health insurance coverage for the employees of the city of Ironton and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Bob.
I'd like to suspend the rules, give ordinance 2377 second, third reading on together, and we did give it a favorable recommendation, finance.
Thank you. Jacob.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Aye.
If the clerk could please give ordinance 2377 second and third reading by title only.
Authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for health insurance coverage for the employees of the city of Ironton and declaring an emergency. Second reading. Authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for health insurance coverage for the employees of the city of Ironton and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Bob.
I'd like to move that we adopt ordinance 2377.
Saw Jacob first. Jacob.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Ordinance 2377 is adopted. If the clerk could please give reading to ordinance, first reading to ordinance 2378 by title only.
Authorizing establishing a city of Ironton tree commission and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Is that something we need tonight, Ralph? Yes. Bob.
I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules and give ordinance 2378 second, third reading by title only.
Jacob.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
If the clerk could please give ordinance 2378 second and third reading by title only.
Authorizing establishing a City of Ironton Tree Commission and declaring an emergency. Second reading. Authorizing establishing a City of Ironton Tree Commission and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Bob?
Make a motion, we adopt 2378.
Jacob?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Aye.
Ordinance 2378 is adopted. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2374 second reading by title.
Establishing rates for the rental property in the Ironton City Center and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Councilman, first reading, that this be given 3 readings, but also just make mention that he expressed a strong desire to vote no on it as currently is, so I'd like for us to try between this meeting and next meeting to maybe talk about escalating or doing something to get to a yes, but if you're still no, it's fine. Bob?
I'd like to say that I would like to, if we could amend it so that we're not automatic renew in a year. We just do what we raise it now, and then we'll look at it again next December, see if we raise it again, but I would support that. But it's been a long time since anybody had any raises. And the first year raises might be a little hard to swallow, but I think it needs to be done.
Okay.
So,
Nate, you have your hand up?
No, I just wanted to have 3 separate readings also.
Okay. Anybody else? Discussion? Okay. Thanks, Bob. Make sure we have the original so that we can amend it next meeting. Resolutions, if the clerk could please give resolution 2379 reading by title only.
Resolution authorizing the submission of an application for Ohio Urban Forestry Grant under the Inflation Reduction Act program.
Bob?
make a motion to pass or resolution 2379.
Haney.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Aye.
Resolution 2379 passes. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2380, did I say ordinance? Resolution 2380, reading by title only.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into a water supply revolving loan account, WSRLA, agreement on behalf of the city of Ironton for planning, design, and/or construction of Third Street water line improvements and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan and declaring an emergency.
Bob.
This was given a favorable recommendation by the finance committee. I'd like to make a motion to pass 2380.
Perry. I'll second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Aye.
Resolution 2380 passes. Thank you. Thank
That's good,
you,
Lisa.
Councilman
Thank
Haney.
you, Mark.
Hang on, go with
Go Tigers.
Yeah.
Moving back to audience participation, if you'd like to address the Ironton City Council this evening, we first have an invited guest, Mr. Ralph Klein from the CAO, to give us an update on grants, et cetera, and then you're free to address the Ironton City Council, state your name and address, and you'll have 5 minutes.
Okay. Ralph Klein, CO, 411 South Fifth Street. I appreciate you passing the resolutions and things. I can talk to you a little bit about the tree commission is a part, one of the things that they require for this urban forestry grant application. And basically, the Ironton and Bloom, I think many of you have talked before, Ironton and Bloom kind of filled that role before and are looking to continue to support. And we've been trying to work trying to find people who might recommend to the mayor to put on that tree commission. So we'd like to have somebody from city council, whatever, here on it, if there is an interest. We've got a few other names and things like that that we'll try to work with the mayor for doing that. So Again, it's an advisory group. It advises the city. It would also be a group that would be there to work with businesses as well as residences in the city. Trying to get the tree canopies and the right kind of trees planted in the right places and things. We've been working with that some in the downtown shuffling, and we're making some progress there and things, so, with that, so. The urban forestry grant, or tree grant, or whatever, that we're looking at, we can apply up to $500,000. It's a 4-year program, so that sounds like a lot of money, but you're looking at a 4-year program. And under that program, we're looking at, your primary thing has to be planting trees and reestablishing tree canopies and that kind of thing. So, we are proposing to continue our work in the downtown area where we've not been able to replace certain trees and dead trees and so on. But the other thing we're looking at are your downtown, your entrances. I know the city is looking at doing some things with the roundabouts, the bridges, and that kind of thing. We think that we could make that kind of a priority area. We have to make it a priority area investments in disadvantaged neighborhoods, which basically that's every neighborhood in the city except for one between Spruce and Pleasant, I believe, is not qualified. So, but we were also looking at the South Ironton entrance, where you're going to be redoing South 3rd Street, or potentially down in North Ironton where you're reconstructing all those streets. There might be some opportunities to do some things there with that. So, with it, there's dollars that can be utilized for maintenance of trees, trimming and that kind of thing. And so we're trying to work around to see if we can come up with a annual program to kind of go out. I know you guys get complaints all the time, well, trees blocking the stop sign or whatever, so that we can get into that, not only that, or dying trees, and those types of things. And then one other thing would be to kind of work with our neighborhoods and things, and again, recommending the appropriate types of trees, that things are not going to cause leaf problems and that kind of stuff. So part of our challenge, which we might be able to work with this program, and it's due at the end of the year here, so we've been kind of working with Solid Waste District to see if somehow we can help, maybe can't buy equipment, but we might be able to lease equipment and help with some of the expenses of the city taking their yard and that kind of thing, and getting it in and get it recycled. So I don't want to promise anything on that, but we think we may have a way of leasing equipment for 4 years or whatever. So that's kind of in that, and that's
Ralph, I think Bob either wants to volunteer for the tree commission, has a question, or both.
I think raising a hand means he volunteered.
That's what I thought. That was my assumption as well.
I mean, there's trees at the cemetery.
Yeah.
I was part of this tree thing they had maybe 6 or 8 years ago, 10 years ago, where they went around, they planted trees specific in different areas, like I know in front of St. Lawrence,
Yes.
there was 2 or 3, and then somebody come along and cut them down.
Well, St. Lawrence, there are some different species that are planted in the tree lawns. We have planted some of the others over there. What you saw that had to be removed were...
Well, I'm not talking about the big trees, I hated that too. But some of the trees that we
In the front.
dedicated, a group of us, and downtown. I mean,
Well,
downtown merchants started cutting them all down.
yeah,
And, those were, I think they were bought with a grant a long time ago.
yeah.
So
Well-
we're gonna have somebody on this that's gonna, rules and regulations, if you want a tree, here's what it goes, and if you wanna cut one down, you have to go through the same process in reverse.
That would probably have to be up to council if they want to give that authority to something like the tree commission. And it would require, I guess, kind of like permitting and things like you would have to do for your sidewalk replacements and that kind of thing.
Yep.
You know, at the present time, as proposed, it would be, we've worked more on an advisory, voluntary, and trying to work ahead of time and things with individuals, and a lot of times we've been able to get them to come through, and some of the issues that we've seen downtown, they have now become some of our biggest supporters, so, after working with them, so. But yeah, I know we went through the whole thing with the berries dropping and merchants, and, yeah, so, and again, the information and recommendations and things like that, as far as maintaining your urban canopy and things, has changed a lot from back in our days, back in the 1980s and things. You don't go plant your Bradford pears throughout the whole town or whatever. You look for diversity, you look for how they fit, you know, what trees fit, you know, utility lines and front of awnings and on down the line. So that's kind of what we've been approaching and things in the past, so. So anyhow, we hope it's a good opportunity and things.
Yeah, I think it will be. I've kind of read over it and looked at it. I just want to make sure that we're not putting all this effort into something that's 2 or 3 years from now, they're going to cut them down with
Yeah.
chainsaws.
Well, that may be something, if the city sees that as a thing, then you may want to enhance it. I know some communities, they do require permits to get trees planted or cut or whatever.
Sure.
And if that's something that the city would want to entertain, we could maybe investigate some of the other communities that have done that, and how they've implemented it and things, and come back with some recommendations for you.
So will be any at-large people, you said, the city council member, probably you, and any citizens at large?
Yeah, we're looking, we've had a couple, Carol Allen is one that has worked, you know, hard on, you know, from the Ironton and Bloom standpoint. Mike Pierce here, the former council person, indicated that he would be willing to serve on it and things, so, and I think we got a list of like 5 or 6 other people, so we were gonna present those to the mayor, and then the mayor can appoint them, so. But, you know, I think having somebody on council would be good, that way you can be the person
I would
going back and forth.
I'd volunteer for that.
You do?
I will.
Okay.
I'll second. Roll call, or all in favor? Aye. Aye.
Yes. I appreciate that, Bob, so, I really appreciate it.
Mr. Perry?
You said it sort of a joke, and I was gonna actually suggest seriously that you consider it. I mean, it's gotta be one of the things you do on the cemetery board anyway. I mean, in terms of trees and type. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I can stress, I think we need a little more control of it.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I think we've done one at the high school, we've done one to St. Lawrence, we've done one. Now, I think the action, on North Fifth, I think we planted one there, I think. We planted several trees over and above what the downtown revitalization grant paid for, all the trees in the sidewalks.
Yeah, we had a couple that have died, which maintenance is another issue that we've gotta deal with this
Yeah.
too, but, the one thing that they have ran into at, school are, the new, security issues, to make sure there's nothing that people we had to remove a lot of shrubberies and stuff like that in order to do that, and I'd say your other schools are running into some of the same issues in the department, so,
All right, thank you.
okay.
I know you just didn't come to us with a horticulture update, so you can move on to whatever else you got for us.
Okay, we wanted to report that the ACGP, the Appalachian Community Grant Program, the governor's infamous $500 million project that he's doing with Appalachia, we submitted, I believe, so we met the deadline, so, It turned out, I mean, on this one, Ironton RCAO's taken to be what they call lead applicant. It was a large application, about $411 million ask. We know we won't get all that, but that was our program. It ended up that there's probably 30+ communities/entities that wanted to join our partnership and things, and some of those were things to do it. And with that program, the focus is to develop the infrastructure and resources for travel tourism industry, something that we've started, with the Gateway Center here and with the hotels, and we've been and that's gave us the leg up on it and things, and then we have actually formed a very strong partnership that, we meet bi-weekly and things of all these river communities, and our particular kind of related around the river and the way the forest open lands and that type of thing. We have communities going from New Richmond, near Cincinnati, all the way up to Tuscarawas and Belmont County and things like that. Again, a lot of those were investments along the river and the development of downtowns. The idea is to make open space available to meet the demands, post-COVID demands for travel tourism, as well as your local communities. You have to relate all this to COVID. Plus, the second thing would be to provide infrastructure for amenities for the new age workforce, people working remotely. And we're finding here in Ironton that I think the last 2 houses that we rehabbed and sold were people that chose to move here to work remotely. One from New Jersey and moving their parents and all that good stuff. So we feel that that is a strong market to be able to attract and retain our young professionals and so on, and so these amenities would be here. For the city, in particular, our large outdoor regional, the Gateway Regional Outdoor Complex was submitted into it. It's just right under a $100 million project. We have the trail connector going from that to Railroad Street here in town. We had riverfront improvements included in that. Those that did not require a full core permit, because I don't think we can get permits in time to do, the marina wall we may not be able to do because it's going to probably require a full permit, and so we'd be looking for other funds on that part. We were also able to put in the completion of the Rodney Theater too, to its final state, hopefully. So those are projects specifically here in Ironton. We have other ones in the county and all the way up and down the river. Hopefully we are to hear from that probably, we're speculating sometime in January, because I think the state's intent is to take those projects to the controlling board meeting in February and get a final approval so they can get them under grant agreement. These projects have to be under contract by October of this year, construction contract, and they have to be completed by October 2026. Very aggressive, and we have to somehow be able to manage those, so we're looking at some different models for some construction management risk type bidding and some things like that that the state's working with us on, in order to do that. So I think we're positive as far as getting funding. How much and what for, we don't know.
Another question for you, Ralph, and you may not be able to answer because of confidentiality, but is things starting to move out of the sports complex area? Because I heard that they done a water test flow to make sure they had enough water to do something.
It's running in high speed, Bob. All the property that is needed, required for the project has been acquired, where our city and county and our different government organizations have partnered. So all property that we have to have is secured. There's other properties that might enhance, especially if, individuals want to sell their property. We look at long-term. Engineers have been out there. We've had endangered species and studies walking it all. We're working right now to try to get core drillings with it. So, yeah, we have basically 4 engineering professional groups working in partnership with it. Part of them is looking at the hardcore earth moving and bridges and, all that kind of thing. Part's looking at the facilities construction. Part of it's from the sports portion of it. Part of it's from the landscaping thing. So, yeah, there's lots going on at that point in time. So, and then if we can, once we know where we stand with the state, I would probably like to have a work session, with the community and that kind of thing, to kind of go through what we pretty sure we have and things on with it. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So, one other thing, the capital bill you probably have heard. Again, these are the ARPA dollars. I can't even remember what ARPA stands for anymore. So it's COVID related. They allocated $700 million between House members and state Senate members on that. The House is asking for requests next Monday, and we were able to put together, it's for the county and the city and different organizations, proposal that would hopefully have the indoor complex portion of that with it. The other ACGP dollars cannot be used for indoor facilities; had to be all outdoor and that kind of thing. So hopefully we'll see where that goes, and to be hopefully competing on that. So a couple other things just to throw out there. We're working. The county got brownfield and demolition dollars. We're working with the land bank on the demolition, which is more your residential and non-dirty commercial. The brownfield is to do cleanup and things along those lines. So if you have properties out there identified, please get that information to us. Land Bank is trying to focus on the residential, and LADC is working on the brownfield. I know we had a lot of studies that were completed, environmental studies completed under the federal brownfield program that we got out there. So that is out there. I think the things have to be entered in February, January, somewhere through there. So our office is working along with Land Bank to get some of those and LADC. So if you have particular properties or whatever, and some that we've seen, we're trying to target, and some that's going to be a matter of getting the property owners to participate and that kind of thing. So trying to think. There's other things out there too. There's a lead-based paint thing that we're kind of looking at too, in conjunction with the county that came down. And my understanding, I think there's still $2 billion worth of ARPA dollars that the state hasn't allocated yet. So.
Is that for individual residences, Ralph, or is that for like community buildings?
The lead-based paint you talk about?
Yeah.
It's for individual residential properties, as well as they have a list of community buildings, like daycares and things, I guess, that, where you would have children exposed and those types of things. So if there are some facilities or whatever out there that you know of, then again, let us know on that. We would try to pursue those. We think we can come up with several residential units where we go through and do weatherization on homes and some minor home repairs. And a lot of times you'll find that you'll have lead painted windows that need to be replaced or doors, and so we're thinking we can identify several units that way.
Chris?
So, for instance, the Tim's News Building, that might be a target. The old
For-
Grand, lead-based paint research.
Yeah.
The Grand Theater, fourth floor here, different things that have not been evaluated for decades.
Well, if you have lists, give it to us and we'll see if they fit in and things, so. Any other questions, Les?
Nate, nothing? All right. Nate, thanks, Ralph.
Thanks, Ralph.
Hi.
How you doing? My name is William Edwards. I live at 202 Park Avenue, apartment 707. I'm here with a complaint to the CAO. I've been put in harm's way the last 2 weeks. My elevator's been out. I live on the 7th floor. I take physical therapy twice a week. I can't get to it because I can't make them stairs. I ride usually a scooter around here in town all the time. But what my problem is CAO.
Which building do you live in?
Excuse me?
Which building do you live in?
That one right across the street from me on the corner.
Park Avenue Apartments.
Martin House,
Okay.
used to be. And the thing of it is, they called, let's see, the 1st of December. It busted at 2:30 in the morning. It didn't bust. They got a nut that lives there that went off and took his something, and the sprinkler system is a good 15 feet up in the air in those rooms. He took something and knocked it off. It flooded the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor flooded, went down the elevator, shorted out the elevator, and flooded the 2nd floor and the floor below it. Now, what I asked Mr. Henderson, you understand, well, his person that was there at the building, I asked him that morning, Friday morning, I had a funeral to go to at 9 o'clock. And I asked him, well, when will it be done? Well, they'll be here any time now, and we'll see about it. I got home at 4:30. There was an elderly couple that was sitting in there in the lobby, and I was talking to them. I said, well, what's the problem? He said, I can't get up to my room. I said, if you can't get up to your room, and she was on a walker, and he was barely walking. And I said, okay. I said, now it's the best thing I can think of for you to do. Go get a hotel room, pay for it, and when you go to give these people their rent, tack it on there. And take your money and then tack the bill on the rent receipt, or the rent. Well, I said, now you can do that. I said, I hope you know, if you're able to. But then they come and said that it would be fixed on Tuesday. And when I got back at 4:30, and I said, why, they wasn't here today? Yes, but they had to order something, order this. I said, no, I just told her straight out, you're lying. I said, I'm in a senior citizen building. You are putting me in harm's way. In other words, if something happened, I got a button on right now. If I should fall somewhere going between here and my building, I'll push that button. It automatically, they know where I'm at. And they'll come out or do anything. But I want to know who regulates CAO.
So, first of all, Mr. Edwards, is your elevator fixed?
Excuse me?
Is the
No,
it's still not
it
fixed?
just went, it was out for a week, almost a whole week. It just went out yesterday. You know what happened yesterday? The washer overloaded, and it ran down the elevator shaft. And I guess it shorted out again.
I can't speak to who owns that, honestly. I don't know. But a commercial building, the city does not regulate a commercial building. That's done by the state.
It's done by the state?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that means I have to go to Columbus on them then.
I would start with the commissioners, maybe.
Excuse me?
I would start with the commissioners rather than trying to find a state agency. They may be able to escalate it a lot faster than we could.
Okay, I got another thing. Now that's just for the building being flooded. I mean, being not able to get up and down to my floor. But I got another thing. I'm on my scooter, I get in the elevator, I'm on the 7th floor. I go down, I'm on my way down. This knucklehead and his wife gets on at the 4th floor. I think they were there visiting their mother or grandmother or somebody. And I turned and asked them, I said, what floor are you going? And they, I'm going down to 1. And he pulled his shirt back like that to let me see that he was carrying. You understand?
I do.
What's the rules on bringing a pistol in a senior citizen building? Who's going to bother him in a senior citizen building?
Depends on if he has a concealed carry permit. But Mr. Edwards, your time is up. Is there anything else that the city can do? Because we can't fix your elevator at Park Avenue Apartments.
I'm not asking you
I'm
to
not
fix it.
unsim-
I'm asking you to get on CAO.
I don't know that that's who.
Mr. What's his name, Henderson?
I don't know that that's who owns it.
Mr. Henderson is the one that runs where I'm at?
Do any of you all know?
Yeah, I think it is, as I said, Ron Henderson is the property manager, and that's probably,
He's over all the property of CAO.
I feel like that's who you need to take your issues up with, is Mr. Henderson.
No, he's two-faced. And I told him to his face, I'm not just saying it, you understand, just to think that I'm somebody, but I'm nobody. But I don't like to be lied to. And I'll stand my ground when they got to coming to me and tell me a lie. And they told me a lie. And I told Mr. Henderson he's a lie. I asked him about posting a sign outside the door. This is a senior citizen facility. No weapons should be allowed here. He said, well, we can do that. No, that's been 3 months ago. It still ain't been done. You understand? That's why when you talk to somebody, you know, they just blow you off. I'm not being in the blown off mood. The man, and like I told Mr. Henderson, I gave my weapons to my brother and let him take him out to his house. But if I got to come in here and somebody's got, cause they got a concealed weapon carry, then I'm gonna go get my stuff and I'm putting it back in, cause I'm not gonna be naked for some knucklehead
Mr.
that comes
Edwards.
in there shooting.
I think we've devolved into something we can help you with. So your time is up. I'll ask you to have a seat, and you can come back and update us if nothing's done. But
Ain't no sense updating, ain't nothing you can do. Thank you.
any others that would like to address the Ironton City Council this evening? Our mayor is ill. He sent me a message that he is ill, so there's no mayor's report other than he's ill this evening. Moving along to miscellaneous, I know Mr. Klein has a couple things, but also wants to be last because he has executive session regarding real estate and some other things. So, anybody else with miscellaneous? Nate?
Okay, I had two items, both were related to the issue one that just passed, legalizing marijuana. I had some concerns from residents asking if marijuana-related businesses, such as grow houses and dispensaries, would be allowed in residential areas for Ironton. So I just kind of want to get some feedback from you guys. I was going to ask an opinion from our solicitors to see if there's anything in our current code that would prohibit that. And if there is anything that prohibit that, I would like to see that implemented, that would only be in business zones. So I just kind of want to get some feedback before I send that, try to get something going, because I think that's going to be something that's going to be moving pretty quickly. Any disagreement with that, or?
I think we probably need to find out the legalities of it, because we don't know what theirs says. Theirs might say anywhere in the city of Ironton or the city of Portsmouth or wherever.
I'll tell you the legalities of it. There's two different bills in the Ohio Senate right now, and neither one of them has passed. So we as citizens passed, in Ohio, we passed to legalize it and tax it, but there's been no guide, there's no guardrails around it right now because the Ohio State Senate and House has not done anything to put guardrails around it. So right now, to Nate's point, it's kind of the wild, wild west. And if I feel like we should be proactive, like Nate's suggesting, and maybe get an opinion. Is this something that, I mean, it is a business. Unless you're growing it with your tomatoes and your 6 plants out there, that's probably not a problem. But if you have a whole greenhouse in your garage, then you probably need to go to a business district kind of thing. But so I don't think it would hurt us to be proactive. And then when the Ohio legislature does enact something, it will supersede whatever we enact if it conflicts. So.
And that was one of the biggest concerns I heard from them. They just don't want a dispensary popping up next door to their house on whatever. It's like they wouldn't want a funeral home popping up next to their house in an R1. So I just want to make sure that, that's spelled out.
Chris?
One of the residents in town asked or said that they heard that a dispensary was looking to purchase waivers for that very reason. So, can't really speak to it, but it addresses this very thing that he's talking about.
So I want to get an opinion from them and see if there's something already in it. If not, move forward with residential. And the second part related to the marijuana issue was how the tax revenue would be shared. Like Craig said, there's two different versions, one in the House and one in the Senate. And I don't think I've seen either one of them have a local revenue share with municipalities. I think most progressive was 15% for the state, with the county to have a 3% option on top of it. But again, nothing for municipalities. So I would like to ask the Andersons to draft a resolution encouraging revenue sharing with municipalities, especially for those that have dispensaries or other marijuana-related businesses located in them, and send those to our representatives.
And to take that one step further, I suggested that the two sponsors of those two bills, that we send them a copy of that resolution certified letter, so at least the drafters of those two bills realize that they omitted municipalities. Probably an oversight on their part, but nonetheless, we'll make sure that they realize it was an oversight on their part. Chris? Okay. Jacob?
I would co-sponsor that legislation.
Okay.
I'd be happy to sponsor the resolution as well.
Okay.
I would be happy to join in on that as well.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have a full house. I think anybody would disagree with that.
Okay. All right. I'd like to make a motion to go to executive session, to discuss personnel and property with council and finance director, no action to follow.
Perry, second. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany. Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.